Have you seen the latest trailer for Man of Fire on Netflix?
Funny enough, when you were setting up, I was just watching the trailer on my computer without sound, but yeah, I was watching it.
You know, it's based off the books, which was based off the movie, based off another movie, based off of the book. Meaning that even though it has a couple movies with the same name, there are two, maybe three movies already made with
Hmm.
the same character's name. There's one with a white guy starring. It's a different name, same last name, but different first name. The one that's coming out, which is funny, the same actor that we're doing a review on, that's doing
Yes,
the new one coming out. He's reprising Denzel Washington's role that came out in 2004, which is one of your favorite movies.
it is. I think it still holds up. I haven't seen it in a hot minute, but last time I saw it, I was still like, "Damn, this is a good film."
I just thought that was cool, and I thought it was kind of funny since I have not seen Wonder Man when it came out because I refused to for some reason. My ego, well, I guess I didn't want to see it because,
I think it's just that you're marveled out. They're more hit or miss nowadays for you.
well, yeah, but also it's like what came out in the sense of
The trailers.
that, yeah, the trailers, like it was like, oh, they're missing the point, they're going way off and all that stuff. But then from watching it, it's like, holy crap, this is an excellent, if you will, expose in a sense of what it deals with actors.
I told you to watch
You
it.
know, like from what I remember of the origin of Wonder Man in the sense of the comic books of Marvel comics, I'm like so confused because in the comics, he is related to the Vision and the Grim Reaper in a certain way. Let's get into it.
Hmm.
Welcome back to Tales of the Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm a Don.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. You're all right, where the MCU, Disney's MCU, wherever you want to call it, it's been hit or miss. Like the last thing we reviewed was Ironheart,
Hmm.
and we hated it.
And for a lot
You
of
know,
reasons, but
yes,
yeah,
I mean, it just felt like it was off the mark from what we were introduced from her in Black Panther 2. And then we got that mess of in the series. And again, it was like, what the hell? But
right.
this was such a pleasant surprise for me.
In my opinion, I think it was refreshing and they took a step back.
Well, that's how I felt like with Ms. Marvel. I
Yeah.
know people like dogged it, and rightly so in the sense of dogging Ms. Marvel. But I thought that was great in a sense. It took a step back in a way, a prequel in essence, in a sense it happened before Tony Stark, Iron Man,
Hmm.
the first one in the sense of time period. But it took a step back in the sense of the pacing of other movies that came prior to it
No, it happened after Iron
because it
Man
was hit
3.
after hit after hit. No, what I'm just saying in the sense of like Iron Man, the first one, 2008. It was a prequel to that because it happened in the 80s. That took the time setting what happened in the 80s for Ms. Marvel. Oh no, Captain Marvel. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Captain Marvel. I
Hmm.
was going Ms. Marvel, yes, because she was by that name as well. She went by through many names. Yeah, I thought. I mean, this was great, but for me, in a sense of, and many people who have struggled being actors, and me, when I had my brief stint doing auditions and getting some jobs here and there, I could relate in a way. He kept going at it. And
Yeah.
what, like a lot of people, they were inspired from what they saw on TV or in the movies. So, oh, I want to do that.
Yeah.
They want to get into the world of acting or in the film industry because of what they grew up on. Maybe because, like for him, it was a combination of doing that on the screen and as well as honoring his father, who was a big fan of Wonder Man, the movie back then, and as well as his bond he had with his father. But off the bat, I have to say, to see Ben Kingsley back playing Trevor was quite a delight. He steals the show every time in Iron Man 3 and Shang-Chi and in this, and the one shot he had too. Oh, I
Hmm.
mean, it was great.
All those previous experiences are referenced. So a couple things, like when I did watch this show, I thought about you. I thought about the people you and I both interviewed that were
Hmm.
friends of yours from going into the industry. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted you to see it, because I was interested in your perspective in that. Ben Kingsley, of course. And then was it Yahya Abdul Mateen?
The second, yeah.
The second. We've seen him in other comic stuff.
Which also got me apprehensive to watch the show because he was in The Watchmen. He was in the Aquaman movies.
He was
He
also in
was
The Matrix.
Candyman. Again, I'm still saying getting tired of people being recycled. His girlfriend or his ex-girlfriend in the series is
Mhm.
from Judge Dredd.
Oh, yeah.
with Carl Urban. And
Mhm.
then the director, he's from James Gunn's Superman.
Yes.
You have the same rotation of actors. Yeah, these are great actors, but it's like seeing Daniel Craig or Tom Cruise in the for instance, because at one time he was playing nothing but like spies and as of whatnot,
Well, yeah,
Reacher,
Tom Cruise did Reacher, he did, Mission Impossible, and I think there was a
and he
couple other
did
ones.
Night and Day, which
Yeah.
was another spy, stuff like that. And imagine seeing Daniel Craig doing like Charles Bronson and like Bruce Willis at a time they were just playing the same character. Jason Statham
Mhm.
playing the same character, even though I did just see Wrath of Man today,
That was actually
where
pretty
he
good.
plays actually a bad guy
Yes.
on a revenge kick for his son.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, that's all right. It's a little different than what he's normally done in the sense. But anyway, in this one, you had these certain people again playing, reprising, not reprising, but in the comic book world. And
Yeah.
again, it's a pet peeve of mine. Go ahead.
No, no, I
Oh, I
was
thought you were
agreeing
going to
on
say
that.
that.
Yeah.
This is what, 8 episodes, right?
Yeah.
And they
W
varied between like 20 to like 40 minutes, which is like just be consistent with certain things, just like have the same time frame. Either be like all 30, all 40, or what have you. Just like you get into it, like, yeah, and then it's over. You said the Matrix. This takes place in pretty much our world
Yeah,
because
it makes the Matrix canon in the Marvel universe.
but no, 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 not just that. It's not in the Marvel universe, but in the sense of us, because you had the same actors. You have Joe Pantalone.
Yes.
I'm not sure that's how you say that, if that's the right way to say his name. I'm calling him Pants, but
Pantoliano.
Pantaleano. But yeah, he's one of the Matrix. He's the star in it, and they reference that.
Mhm.
So it's just like the same essence. Josh Gad, who plays Olaf in Frozen, he's in it. So it's like everything is like within our world that we know these are movies and who was
Well,
in it and stuff like that.
I think it's all the movies that Trevor Slattery mentions, like, he's like, "I was in this, and I was in this." All those are real Ben Kingsley films that he acted in.
Even though this is supposed to be a different universe, it parallels ours. Even though it goes, I guess, multiple universes, a few is going to parallel one another, I
Yes.
guess, right?
Mhm.
But here it's like, oh, we know this one. And like, here's the actor, here's one of the actors, which was a surprise to me because I was like, all right, are you familiar with Wonder Man? Because I thought I was.
So, okay,
And
so they did
okay,
change
before you
his
go,
origin. Okay, go ahead.
well, like I said, like from what I knew, yes, he was a superhero. He was also originally a bad guy who became a good guy. He joined the Avengers, I think, through Baron Zemo to infiltrate what was going on, and then he starts to, I guess, change his outlook, what have you, and he becomes a good guy. His brain waves or something that is in connection to the Vision. He's a zombie. He got into acting and stunt work. Like he has it was like all this different stuff. I was like, what the hell am I supposed to follow? Because I mean, it's been a while. It's my bad. I didn't redo the research in a sense exactly. But am I wrong or am I relatively
You're
on that?
relatively close. So, yeah, instead of him growing up the way he did, his father was actually an industrialist. If I remember correctly, Stark Industries helped like put his father out, like was a major competitor. The business was falling under. He blamed Stark, ruined the corporation kind of situation. He approached Baron Zemo, who transformed him into the Wonder Man. By giving him
Okay.
like ionic superpowers, which basically just
What
made
does that
him,
mean?
it's just another way of saying he's a being of pure energy and he manipulates ionic energies. I don't know what ionic is. It sounds scientific.
Does he have flight?
He does now, but there was a time where he just used rockets.
That's what I thought. Like on
Yeah.
his ankles.
What you saw like at the beginning of the show with the guy with the mullet hair and the glasses, the white dude, that was more accurate to like the original interpretation of the character. Yeah, he had the, standard super strength, super speed, stamina, durability, but the manipulating the energies was the thing that made him unique. Originally, he was just like a being of energy, and then eventually got a body of kind of like Terminator, like outward flesh,
Hmm.
but inward
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
energy. I don't remember the exact nature of it, but his brain waves were the basis for creating Vision. So it was like Ultron making Vision. He used the brain waves of Wonder Man as the basis to create the mind, and that became a thing of like, well, the reason why Vision loves Wanda is because he had a thing for Wanda too, and then they became like kind of like siblings. but his actual
Mhm.
brother turned into a villain called
The Grim
Grim,
Reaper.
Grim Reaper.
Oh, the mm.
Yeah, like, well, it's like Grim Reaper,
Oh, wait,
uh,
he has a hatchet,
a scythe. Like
a
one,
scythe, excuse me.
his like one of his hands is gone,
Yeah.
and it's like a full on scythe. And I believe his ability is something like either necrotic damage or just energy, a life absorbing situation.
Is his name the same as in the show?
They're full on brothers and
No, no, I
whatnot.
understand, but I
So they
wasn't sure, like,
berserk.
they changed the name on the show. I'm just wondering if they changed the
Yeah.
name on the
No, it's
show
the
in the
same
sense of it.
name. And then in the comics, I do remember there was when he was doing his acting career and trying to get off the ground with his acting, he went through a spell where one of his major enemies was also Abomination. Because Abomination switched from the Hulk to him, and he's
Mhm,
like, "Oh, you want to be a pretty boy on screen? I'll show you pretty."
mhm.
Kind of situation. Envy.
Now,
Um,
real quick,
yeah,
because the old movie of Wonder Man they showed kind of goes back into in the sense of his little more updated costume, where before what he had was, and I don't remember if they did it. He wore cargo pants and his jacket was kind of like military jacket. You
that was when
remember?
he
And
was in the West Coast Avengers, I want to say.
okay, but
Yeah.
did they honor that here in the show? Because I can't remember. If they
No, I don't think I think they kinda skipped that. So they
yeah.
went from, like, how he started to how he is more current, which is enough costume catch up, in my opinion,
Mhm.
between the 2. They did touch on another character from the comics,
Who
from the Great
who
Lake Avengers,
who?
Doorman.
Oh, that's where he's from.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Because I thought it was from. I thought they were taking a beat from from Cloak and Dagger, who had the
Uh,
similar powers,
they do have similar powers, and actually they reference that in,
and they're
like, the
both black.
comics. Well, this is true too. So, Doorman was, like, a first appearance in, like, West Coast Avengers, I wanna say, in one of, like,
Hmm.
the annuals, or
Hmm.
no, it was, like,
Well,
46.
that was led by Hawkeye.
Yes, but then he became one of the founding members of the Great Lake Avengers, which
And
that's
isn't it Great Lake Avengers 2 the one that started?
Civil War.
Were they the ones that
No,
caused the Civil
it
War?
not quite. It was the New Warriors.
All right, yeah, because Cannonball was in it, and then the guy with Exploding Man, whatever he was, he did that
Mhm.
thing. But yeah, I like what they did with the flashback with Doorman
Yes,
and
and
it telling his story.
it was a great way to push the story of, like, what's the insurance, why is it so hard for someone with superpowers to get business. It's a
Mhm.
new character telling the story, kinda like Werewolf by Night, all noir, black and white.
It was, yeah, it was a spotlight.
Yeah.
I mean, what I liked about this too is that it reminded me, it gave me the feels of Rocky, the Karate Kid,
Mhm.
the both versions, in the sense of student and master. It was a buddy cop kind of thing too, because two guys become together. But you have a mentor, which was Trevor, and then you have the student, which was Simon. And then
Yeah.
they have their beef, like that. And then it's kind of cliche too, where the infiltrator, the spy, if you will, because that's what Trevor's playing as well, in a sense, gathering information. He then becomes friends and he likes the guy that he's gathering information from. Unlike with Rocky, with Mickey and Rocky, or Mr. Miyagi and Danielson,
Yeah.
it's a little different, but it had that same feel for me because you have the older guy who's been through it, who knows the ropes, who knows how the business is in the sense of, in this case, boxing. I'm sorry, acting. He's guiding him,
Yeah.
his student, his protege, if you will, tries to warn him too, in a sense, no, don't do this, no. But then you also have, Trevor has his thing. He likes the spotlight. He was a failed actor himself, or a failing actor. He was doing success. He was being successful, and
Mhm.
then drugs, the
Like, at
role
one
of
point, he was
Mandarin.
supposed to be in The Matrix and stuff like that, and then, like, they were just going back
Right.
and forth with roles. Mhm.
Personally, I felt the story of the doorman probably could have been sooner, but I'm also okay where they put it in episode wise.
And speaking of that episode, Josh Gad playing himself,
Yeah.
like, I think it was in an interview, he said it's like, "That was my choice." Like, I wanted to play he's like, "I agreed only if I could play myself."
But what happened to him? He's in the abyss or whatever that thing is, whatever that portal goes to.
Yeah, it's a dark dimension, it just is a void.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like I'm telling you, it's just like Cloak.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's just like Cloak. I
Well,
mean,
so
I really don't know.
supposedly, Cloak and Doorman do access the same dimension. There's
Oh,
yeah, there are characters in the Marvel universe that access energies from that dimension, multiple characters actually.
Oh man, because I know they did a series, Cloak and Dagger series. I never watched it. I think it was on Freevee or something, like another
Yeah, I never
offshoot
watched it too,
thing.
but yeah, it was definitely a live action series. I think they had like 2 or 3 seasons actually.
Oh wow.
It was around the same time as the Marvel Runaways when they
Yes,
had
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, like, it says the comic book stories, and it says of like their inner city kids, and like it's really cool how they did it in the comics. I don't know how they did it in the show, but anyway, this was a surprise hit
Yeah.
because like I said, I had my
Reservations.
reservations, yes, because of what I did know of the character, and then again recycling actors, and then approaching it this way. But I was like, okay, because again, in the comics, Simon Williams does become an actor. He's also a stuntman, where he got into stuntman work because he's like he can't get hurt, and then became an actor, stuff like that. So you
Mhm.
have that similarities. Where here is more drastic, where he wasn't famous. Wonder Man was. He was known in the comic books. Here he wasn't, so he's becoming famous. So it's kind of a different order. And then he becomes a superhero, or in this case, I guess a super villain, because he
Yeah.
escaped. He had
Well, arguably a little bit of both
escaped.
in this case, because Damage Control kind of were
Oh
being the
yes,
villains
Damage
here.
Control was awesome. They had Damage, which was one of my favorite also comics limit series, and they had him in. They talked about Damage Control in Spider-Man.
Homecoming.
Yes, they were in that, and then
They were
the
also
character.
in the Spider-Man. Well, technically, the last Spider-Man as well, where they introduced Daredevil.
Well,
Yeah.
Cleary, the guy who played Cleary, Arian, I can't say his last name. I'll just call him Arian. He was in multiple. He played it. He reprised his role. I'm liking that aspect.
So Damage Control as a whole has
That's
been
right.
throughout the
That's
Marvel
right.
universe, but he's
That's
been
right.
making more appearances.
Right. You're right. You're right. I mean, I kind of like that stuff. I do when they do it like that tie in, like by even by one actor or whatever. That's
Mhm.
like a supporting role. Well, that was like Agent Coulson.
He
And he
was the
just
glue besides Nick Fury to keep it connected.
this is not an action based series.
100%. It's not action
Is
based.
is more drama, more comedy, a
Mhm.
comedy drama, a buddy film or show, have all these things. Yeah, it's just no, there's one fight scene,
The
the
alleyway,
alleyway.
and then there was but the most action was that episode after the alleyway. Like, was it the shootout at the where they're making the candy bags with like tahine?
Oh, but was that really a shootout? I mean, like really, it was just they
You
were
just
just
hear it in the
like,
background.
yeah, it was not really no action. They just get yeah, they just get killed. Yeah, they get taken out. Do you have a favorite moment?
Any scene that I'm talking about that I enjoy the most is going to be with Ben Kingsley. Let's just first
Yes,
say that he stole the show.
yes,
Love
yes,
him.
yes.
I was taken aback when I saw Joe Pento Leone. They were
Him.
talking about the Matrix, and I'm like, what? What? Between the two of them, when they were doing their give and take acting with each other, those scenes
Mhm.
were just so good.
Well, how about this? When they're doing that, going the lines, and they're traveling back and forth, trying to find a right spot to do it, and they can't really do it. And they go back to his apartment, and Trevor's talking to him, but he's not talking to him as Trevor. He's
Yeah.
talking to him as the Mandarin because his voice kicked in.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, wow. And then later on, we see an episode dedicated to that in the sense of him having his troubles, and then him getting the role as the Mandarin. And so it's just like, wow. But that part, when because he's playing a role too, to Simon's role, to just have a nice back and forth. I thought that was awesome. But yeah, you're right. Like everything, like
I love the
act
scene
four,
at
act four.
the mother's birthday party where Trevor's like interacting with everybody, and the aunt or the neighbor just kept talking to him. And he's like, "Tell me more about Simon," and she just goes off about that. He's like, "Damn." He says something to her is essentially like, "I don't want to hear anything you have to say." He's like, "You just talk gibberish."
Because he's trying to, gather
Information.
intelligence, and he can't. He's like,
Mhm.
but he also doesn't want to because he's like he's
Oh,
finding a bond.
that's what I
So
found that was a great dynamic. Like the moments where he's trying to do his job because essentially he's on the job, but then he's
mhm.
trying not to and like trying to help Simon at the same time to protect him. We had clear evidence and threw it away on the cliff. That was a great moment.
Yeah,
Such a
right. No, yeah.
simple,
Okay.
lovely
Have you
moment.
have you ever watched the series Barry on HBO Max?
No, mom loves it. No, wait,
Yeah.
no. Mom doesn't love that one. Barry's the one where he's an assassin.
Right, who becomes an actor.
Yeah.
This is kind of like similar in a way because Barry has a mentor.
Yes.
He has two actually. One from the acting, which is Henry Winkler, and the other guy from Office Space that we love.
Talking about Stephen Root.
Barry has two mentors from that.
Uh-huh.
The mentor the of assassination, that was Stephen Root, and then the acting mentor's coach was Henry Winkler. So you have that in this, where Stephen Root's character is trying to keep him on the road or the path of a killer, but he also cares for him as a son. You have that with Trevor, who's finding this protege, respecting him, doesn't see him as the bad guy as is pictured. He sees him as a fellow actor who's just trying to find his place and his voice in this world. And he sees that he has amazing talent to do such, even though having a superpower, he can't do it because of the incident with Doorman and Josh
Yep.
Gad. It's so good in so many levels. But in the sense of like what you said, like you wanted to see my reaction, in the sense of what many actors go through, you're right. Now, for me, I sucked at auditions. I overthought it. You should come with some kind of background story for your character when you come to an audition. So you have a grounded place, if you will.
Yeah.
And, understand, even though it can be a simple line, you should be, understand, because when you're acting, yes, you're supposed to listen to your partner in a sense of what he or she says, but what does your character have in a sense? What is his purpose? What is he or she trying to get out of that scene? If you're playing a waiter, what are you trying to do? Do you want to you trying to get an order? Do you have to go take an order to you have to go to the bathroom real quick, or you have to sell this or upsell to because your kid needs lunch money, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
But some people go over and beyond of what the
So
character needs.
basically what he was doing, like Wonder Man.
Correct. And then like in the first scene where he's overacting, overanalyzing, and like telling the writer what should be said or done because I know this person, blah, blah, blah. But he ends up getting himself fired.
And it's not like he had necessarily bad ideas. The writer is like, I don't disagree. It's just that he's flooding too
Right.
much and he's stopping the work.
Right. And the thing is, he's supposed to die like 5 minutes later, the character that is 5 minutes. So all this stuff is not really necessary. Like the whole like cliche, like where Robin Williams in The Birdcage tells one dancer, all right, Madonna, Madonna, Fosse, Fosse on the inside. Keep it on the inside. But like you have it all in you, but this is what you gotta do. Whatever you're building in, just fine, but that doesn't matter at this proper moment, what have you.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to analyze it. But for an audition, no. Once you got the part, you can probably go deeper. But that's like conversation, like the conversation he had should be prior, not the moment of shooting. But only if you have the power to do so. Not if you're like a guest spot on an episode that you're only in for 5 minutes.
Correct. And
You know what I'm
even
saying?
at that, like not the entire day's worth of production. Like it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I have one or two suggestions, and then leave it at that.
Or not. You just say nothing. You just like
Yeah.
just do your shit, right?
Exactly.
I know one time I did an independent film, and this one guy was asking all these questions, just like Simon was doing. I was like, "Fucker, all you gotta do is sweep the floor.
It's like that's your motivation. There's dirt.
That's all you gotta clean the floor. It's the end of the day of your shift. All you're doing is just sweeping up because you want to go home." But no, he's like, "But why am I sweeping at this time? Like, this is my family." And I was like, "Oh my God." This is for an action scene. Like he is supposed to just sweep, he gets hit, and then he counters and he throws the broom at the guy, and that's it. He gets killed. Half hour to an hour. The need to understand why he's there,
Mhm.
but it's like it's
So
kind of obvious
those are
why they're there.
opportunities to take shots, film, depending on what you're doing. That's lighting,
Right.
that's
And this is,
paychecks.
but not really, because it was independent film and we're like not getting paid.
Well, I mean, technically, time is money.
I mean, time is money in the sense of if I have to go to work the next day, and it's like getting, it's like 11, it's 10 o'clock now, it's 11
Mhm.
o'clock, soon to be 12 o'clock, like, yeah, that in that aspect, you're right. But yeah, some people do that. They just they overanalyze. It's appreciative that the person wants to know about the character, but at the same token, buddy, save that for your acting class and scene study.
Save
Yeah.
those
And,
details for
like,
the Blu-ray commentary.
right. Like Trevor did the same thing. It's like he has that, he's talking to Trevor, talking to Simon, and Simon's giving this whole elaborate story. He said, "You got that all from How May I Help You?" Or I'm paraphrasing. It was like, "What would you like for your order? What
Yeah.
would you like?" So like something like that, which was a great scene when he like goes into the
Yeah.
Mandarin. Mandarin. Yeah, the Mandarin. We'll say Mandalorian again.
I also thought that was a good moment because of the like when they went to the one place to rent a camera and the lady's like, I do the line reading. It's like
Right.
almost like she's trying to get the role too. She's like, huh, what do you do? And like Trevor's like,
Yeah.
just read the line.
Oh, exactly. But I'm saying though, even though that's what he gave her, when he did it, he went into full acting mode as well. The
Mhm.
line reader, a lot of times, is like her. She's the person filming the audition and just saying the lines, soulless. And you in front of the camera have to
Pull it from her.
perform. Yeah, but it's hard when a person's
Mhm.
like, "Hi, how are you?" And then like that. Some casting agents, they'll give you a performance to help you
Yeah.
on screen. They'll also hire an actor to read the lines. So they have you have two people, maybe three, running the camera, person saying the lines, and then probably someone else there too. That sometimes it's like that many people, or it's just one person. And the size they give you, you having like the conversation of you and the other person, so you can kind of also tell what's being said, and you can get a feel for it. But also, like, location, is it in New York or is it in Oklahoma or something like that, so you have also a feel for how to speak with a twang, with an accent or no accent. So you kind of can get the feel for that. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, yeah, I have to agree with you. Everything with Ben Kingsley was kick ass. He has
Yeah.
great comic timing. He has
Yes.
great pace. He can change accents like left and right. Like his regular as Trevor, and then he'll go into another one where he's playing, like with a Cockney. He'll go into that right away. Then he'll go into the Mandarin, and it was just like, whoa. That's what happens when with a seasoned actor.
Yes.
They can just flow like that. And many of it felt like it was improv, even though it most likely probably wasn't improv. I don't know. My favorite moment with me was him when he's becoming the Mandarin, when he's trying, the whole episode.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. I was just like, oh, so now we get more of a backstory, not so deep, because I don't think it was a full episode either. I think it was just
No.
somewhat of a.
The only episode that was like a full backstory kind of situation was Doorman. Other than that, everything was like sprinkled throughout the season.
Did they say how Simon got his powers?
So they hint that it may have been triggered through stress. So they're referencing that he
He
might
could
be
be
a
a
mutant.
mutant.
That he could be a mutant. They don't say it
Okay.
outright, but like it's
Okay.
hinted that he might be
Right.
a
Right.
mutant. Where in the comics is quite the opposite. He's more of a
Right.
mutate.
Right. 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 But I'm just saying, like, because we didn't hear the music, because in Ms. Marvel at the end, when she's told that she's a mutant, you hear a little X-Men music.
Correct.
But I didn't hear this at all. So I mean, granted, they are going to bring the X-Men in the MCU like officially. I know they did it with Deadpool and Wolverine, but they're going to officially do it with this one. What about weak moments?
Well, like you said, this is not really an action film show. So the only weak moment I would have is the dream sequence, like when he punched his fist through the guy's head. That
Oh my god! But that caught me off guard. That caught me off guard.
it was so out
I
of
was like, oh
place.
shit!
It was really
I
so
know.
so far out of place. I'm like, this does not fit anywhere in the dynamic of the show. Like he just tossed a guy on a wall and to the most extreme. I didn't know that was like a thing of his powers that they were trying to show. But basically, it turned out to be a dream.
Well, punching the guy's head.
Yes, and they show the
But
hole.
I'm just saying that. Yeah,
They showed the hand going
yeah.
through, and then they show his face through the hole. I'm like, that's borderline graphic.
I was like, oh, he doesn't have the part.
Yeah,
He's not getting the part.
I would have anticipated more like the feeling of the show, like oh, he gets thrown across the house or the mansion or something, or through a wall or whatever.
Uh-huh.
It just seemed like so graphic is the best word I can come up with. It's not gory. It's just that like it looked like a Mortal
Right.
Kombat
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
fatality. It looked like
But
Sub-Zero went
it
through his
wasn't
face.
bloody, right? But it wasn't bloody.
No,
You
it
know, it
looked
was just
like
like,
it like crystallized.
yeah,
So for that
yeah.
reason, I was like, that doesn't really fit with everything. But okay,
But still, no. But for me, it caught me off guard until they woke up. I was like,
100%.
oh, okay. But was that all necessary as well? That audition process at the house?
The way you stated, like your auditions, sometimes they don't feel like they're necessary. Like
Yeah, but I'm saying
the
like no, I'm talking about the weakest moment in a
I
sense.
thought for a moment that Von Kovac was in with damage control, and I thought that was maybe
Mm,
part of it. Then it turned out
yeah,
it wasn't. That was like maybe a storyline that I thought in my head that was gonna play out, and I just made myself wrong.
Yeah. Right, yeah, but I'm just saying, did all those characters, all those actors auditioning as well had to be there? Could it have just been, like, just Simon and Trevor there, and they see
Between
Pear
it,
leaving?
yeah, I think they were
Well, no,
trying to
no,
go
like,
for
see
like
that
more like
apparently
he's just an eccentric director.
no, I get it. I mean, again, to go with auditions and stuff like that, you have like if you're not sure how the chemistry is going to be, right? Even though the both got called in, well, they auditioned at different times, but same day, but different times. But a director or a casting director would team up different people to see how, like James Gunn did that with this latest thing with Superman with Lois and Clark. He had different Loises and different Clarks play together and see that chemistry.
Yeah,
I guess it was kind of too
it's
convenient.
well, yeah, it's very convenient in that sense, but it's also pretty funny because like they go through all those auditions with all those extra people for like the
Uh-huh.
two different roles. And then in the end, after the whole Mandarin incident, they go back to Joe Pinto Leon.
Joe,
Leon.
true,
Uh,
which I thought was funny. I was
that
like, I
was
was like,
to me that
wow. I
was
was like,
hilarious because it's like, oh, he took my role again.
right, exactly. It's like he's like if Trevor can't do it, Joe can. He's
Which
like the understudy. Who
again,
was Trevor's understudy?
I think Joe was a great guest appearance and I love his performances also. So
Yeah,
fantastic.
because like I said, like I didn't know who was in it. I was so totally surprised when I saw him and then when I saw Josh there. I was like, holy wow, okay, that's really smart and really cool. I thought his agent, the black girl, I thought she was from.
Oh, you're talking about ex Mayo
I thought it was
lady.
the same girl from Murders in the Building. Yeah, totally different lady. But I just maybe I'm just being rude because I just saw a big black girl. Nothing wrong with that. That's why I just saw it real quick, and then after she spoke, I was like, oh, that's not her. Okay. But no, it's really good. I mean, this is definitely a fix to Ironheart.
Yes. It
Is
is
this is
more
this is
standalone.
this well, is it? Because Trevor's from like Shang-Chi and Iron Man, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, as it stands right
is it
now, like
standalone?
as the show stands, like I would say it's standalone. Trevor, yes, he's interacted in all the other movies that we referenced, but the impact as it stands right now doesn't really reflect like a ripple on the Marvel universe. It's like Sun-Chi. If Trevor didn't show up again, we probably wouldn't be like, "Where's Trevor?" He could just disappear, and they may never bring him back, and it's
Oh,
still. I doubt it because I love him.
you know what I did? I was so not smart. The last
Okay.
episode. So when Simon is what they call is doing research for a
Oh,
role.
doing the method acting research, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I think he
And
had the
was that really
overalls
method
there when he's infiltrating
the
it.
cop outfit or in the bank or in the bar? I mean,
Maybe in the bar.
maybe in the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there. No, but like not necessarily method acting, but like any actors, they're not sure they're not familiar with a role. They'll do like a ride along with cops, or they'll do the research with hanging
Yeah.
out with people who are in that field that they're trying to represent. But I was like, who is this guy? Like, I thought I was like, is this a new mentor? So I went in as like, who is so and so? And I was like, damn it. I just found out why he's there. And it's like before I can finish the episode, I found out I was like, damn, he went to rescue Trevor. And I was like, damn it. I was like, I would have been a nice surprise but Simon, he felt he got portrayed by Trevor, that he was being used by Trevor and stuff like that for he can because he was I forgot he was an escaped convict and he was hanging in private world in Shang-Chi for a while
Yes.
because the Mandarin did kidnap him at the end of the one
Correct.
shot.
So even though he was in prison in Shang-Chi, that he was technically escaped from prison because of that.
Is it the one shot called All Hail the King?
Yeah.
Anything else we should talk about before we wrap this up?
No, I think we've summed it up pretty well, honestly. We could probably talk about it for another hour, but we shouldn't.
Fair enough. On Rotten Tomatoes, it is 91% by the critics and 87% by the audience. Who do you side with, even though it's relatively close?
I'll lean with the critics.
I agree as well because it hit many things, especially if you're a struggling actor or you're a successful actor, you did the same thing or similar. You have similar experiences.
Mhm.
What you don't have is the experience of having superpowers. But as an actor, as a person who's trying to make it, who didn't make it, and the years that some actors happens within 6 months, some happens within 20 years. They get their big break. Like my friend Berto Colon.
Well, I was gonna say, like, if for our audience out there, if you like what we're talking about Wonder Man and you saw Wonder Man and you're intrigued, check out our interviews with my brother's friends in the industry and,
Yeah. Only
learn
2
about
so
it.
far. We're trying to get more people that we know to interview, but yes, check them out because they have really good insights, and it's pretty funny too. I'm with the critics here as well. It is worth the watch. It's a happy surprise. It's a nice different direction of what
Mhm.
we've dealt with in the MCU. Yes, it's superpowers, yes, but it's not superhero focused. It's an actor because again, he's not a superhero, he's not a supervillain. He's just a guy who has these crazy powers, who
Correct.
wants to be an actor. And Trevor just ties it in more deeply in the sense of the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, that is our marvelous review of Wonder Man. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? Do you agree with our opinion on this great series? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Until next time, will be the next time. I am Angel, the actor, or not really.
I am Adan, the regular.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.